Okay, I like to start doing my weathering on my scale accessories by spraying them with a matte color. Usually matte black is a good starting point. And then I use these three products from Citadel Model Craft stuff. Citadel Technical, they call it. I start with this stuff called Ryza Rust. It's kind of like a thicker, pasty kind of a goo stuff. Take a tester's brush that you didn't spend a lot of money on. And you'll notice that it is kind of like a fluorescent orange, a little bit chunky. You want to kind of brush that in everywhere. You'll notice it goes on bright orange. That is fine. Give everything a nice little coat wherever they get used and there's going to be wear and rust on the tool or the whatever you're doing, a fuel tank, crap like that, park your truck. Where we live, these things usually hang out on the outside of our trucks. I got one on the hood of my Jeep and it's pretty beat up just from weathering. So, kind of give her the same treatment here. Last but least, make sure you get the bottom. Everybody always misses the bottom. I'm guilty of it too. Make sure you get all the edges. Let that dry, and as it dries, it will darken up, and we'll come back for the next step. Okay, now that piece is dry. I don't know if it's hard to see with the white background, but now you can see that how that's dried a nice dark rust color orange. So the next product I like to use is called Citadel Typhus Corrosion. This is the stuff that ruins your brush. It's got bits and grits in it and stuff. I don't know what it is, but it's like a thick, kind of almost like a dark metallic paste. So now you can start running that, give that a little coat throughout just lightly. Get all the edges and the corners where the crap would build up, and this stuff gives it the texture of being aged and old. Just want to make sure you dab all the oranges, the bright areas where the orange went on extra thick. Some of the pigment built up in the corners. Okay, so we let that dry. Clean your brush best you can. I'll be back. Okay, so we got that dry. So if you can see that gives it some nice, really nice colors and textures and layers. Weathering is about layers though, so we now need to take a little bit more orange and lightly, you want to get the brush nice and dry, get the thinner off of it, and then lightly put a little bit more of the rust over top of the corrosion now, so you kind of get that layer effect going on. You want to make sure this goes on fairly thin. The thinner, the more layers you do, the thinner you get as you get up to the top. So. Okay, we'll let that dry. That will darken up into a nice rusty color. And yeah, then one more step and that's done. And the last product I use on this one, you can use a finer tip brush with this one to apply it, or you can use the beat up mop when you've been digging through that crap. This stuff is called Shade Newland Oil. It will give it a little bit of shine afterwards, because if your tool is this rusty, it's not going to work. So you can brush it in there. So yeah, you can brush it in there, make it look like somebody's come along and oiled up the unit, right? So get all the mechanism parts, give it a little bit of shine over top of those. Put it on pretty heavy. It soaks up pretty quick and dries pretty quick, so. And then yeah, let that dry. So there's pretty much how it's going to look when it's finished. That's going to dry just like that and stay shiny on the bits where we want it to be shiny, so it looks like it's got some use and somebody's hit it with a can of, you know, WD-40 or something. Pretty quick, easy. This is a Tamiya jack that comes with the old YJ. All I did was cut out the holes and the jaw and a bit of plastic that went between the handle and the stem on it, actually. So it took a little bit of work to get the jack to that point, but yeah. I think they're clear too when they come in the kits, the clear ones. So yeah, there you go. Looks good. We'll put that on the back of the Toyota and send it.